13th, 2026, and this is the Neural Left. I'm Maya Thorne, and I'm just here to judge the vibes of the empire.
This is John Steele.
I'm Mary Kane.
And I'm Julian Archer. We have a great show for you today.
No, literally, the vibe is chaotic. Yesterday, we were all doom scrolling through Trump's Beijing summit and that 10-point drop in our democracy scale, which is high-key a flop. But today, the ethical rot is basically coming for the floorboards.
It is absurd, Maya. We're looking at a GOP that has completely abandoned the concept of a rule of law in favor of a rule of whoever has the most hush money.
And we've got people in Detroit who can't get a glass of water while the Republican Fed chair is being fitted for his crown. We've got a lot to get through. It's a busy one.
Look, if you thought yesterday's DOJ loyalty payouts were bad, wait until you hear about what's happening in South Carolina and Kentucky. It's like the whole system is just one big national edging session where justice never actually arrives.
Bet. Let's start with the literal zombie trial of the century because it's giving incompetence.
I'm telling you, I've seen some legal acrobatics in my time, but the South Carolina Supreme Court overturning Alex Murdaugh's murder conviction yesterday, it is a total moral collapse.
And for what, Julian? Not because he didn't do it. The man's a ghoul. But because the clerk of court, Rebecca Hill, wanted a book deal? Are you kidding me with this?
That's the rot, right there. According to the J-Post and Newsweek, she was telling jurors not to be fooled by his testimony. She was basically the director of her own true crime documentary while the trial was still happening.
Total main character syndrome. Like, she really thought she was the protagonist.
She prioritizes fame over fairness, and now the state has to spend millions on a retrial. Millions! That's money that could be going to, actual citizens instead of cleaning up the mess of a corrupt Republican legal scion.
It's the same thing with Thomas Massey in Kentucky. You see this report in Newsweek? A former staffer, Cynthia West, is alleging he offered her $5,000 in cash to shut up about a wrongful termination. $5,000 in a manila envelope.
It's giving 1970s mob movie, but make it mid. Like $5,000 in this economy, that's barely a down payment on a used Cybertruck. It's low-key embarrassing.
The allegations are that he helped her get a job with Representative Victoria Spartz and then tried to pay her off to drop the complaint. It's the hush money in the House era, folks.
And Massey acts like he's this high-minded constitutionalist. It's performative masturbation. He's in his villain arc, and he doesn't even have the decency to be good at it. My black book on these guys is getting so thick, I can't even close the drawer.
Look, while these guys are playing Goodfellas in the hallways of Congress, real people are getting squeezed until they pop. Let's talk about economic justice, because the K-shaped recovery is actually just a cliff for the working class. I gotta tell you, the situation in Detroit is breaking my heart. The water chief there says the Lifeline water program is going to run out of money in weeks. Weeks!
Because we don't fund infrastructure, Mary. We fund tax cuts for the guys who live in Julian's penthouse building. According to Big News Network, this is becoming a national crisis.
Hey, I'm fighting the good fight from the panopticon. But you're right, the distribution of stormwater management costs is totally uneven. The poor are subsidizing the drainage for the rich. It's absurd.
No, literally. It's like the system is shadow banning the poor from having basic fluids. And meanwhile, in Oregon, they have this strong healthcare merger law, HB 2362, and it's basically doing nothing?
Well, here's the thing. They haven't formally blocked a single merger. Not one. Families USA just put out this Big Systems, Bigger Profits report showing corporate hospitals control 75% of the market now. Prices are up 60%.
It's the healthcare mirage. They tell you the law has teeth, but the corporations just switch to vertical integration. They buy the doctors' groups, they buy the clinics, and they bypass the hospital triggers. It's like a shell game. but the P is your life savings.
It's a flop. Even the company town is dying. Prim, Nevada is basically closing its last casino. The whole town is just deleting.
It's corporate cannibalism. We're letting private equity hollow out the country like a Thanksgiving turkey. And then they wonder why people are angry? Look, before we get into the absolute circus of the culture wars, I want to take a second for a quick note from the people who actually make this show possible.
Bet.
Independent media like this doesn't just manifest out of the ether. It takes real human work to build the infrastructure. We are 100% here because of the vision and the grind of our creator, Eric Christensen, at Neural Network Media. He's not a media conglomerate. He is a builder who poured his own resources and time into creating this platform so we could have these conversations. If you value independent voices over corporate algorithms, please like, subscribe, and consider visiting our new Patreon at patreon.com/Neural Network Media to support this work. It's an act of solidarity that keeps the lights on and the servers running.
Amen to that. Now, can we talk about Rand Paul and his little science fiction hearing yesterday?
Oh, God, the COVID cover-up hearing. I can't. I literally can't with these people. So Senator Rand Paul has this CIA whistleblower, James Erdman III, claiming the lab leak was buried. They're dragging Fauci's name through the mud again like it's 2021.
Okay, it's giving stuck in a loop. Like, are we still doing this? Is this the season finale of the pandemic or just a reboot nobody asked for?
It's a war on expertise, Maya. They want people to hate the FDA and the CIA so they can replace them with their own cronies. Did you see the FDA commissioner resigned after only 13 months?
It's a decapitation strike on public health. They're trying to frame AOC and the squad as the enemies of traditional life while they dismantle the very agencies that keep our food from being poisoned.
High key, according to Mises and MoneyWise, they're also spinning this narrative that taxing the rich is somehow wrong because billionaires have earned their wealth. AOC is out there trying to explain unearned wealth, and the right wing is they're just making memes about her.
It's the COVID cleanup narrative. They want to make it look like the federal apparatus, that's their favorite word now, is a machine for lying. If they can make you believe the CIA lied about a virus, they can make you believe anything.
Like believing that a military raid in Chicago is safe and legal? Did you see what happened on South Shore Drive? 18 people are filing claims against DHS for a raid on September 30th. Snipers, helicopters, spotlights. They broke down doors without warrants. And get this, they had a camera crew filming it for promotional content.
Are you kidding me? Promotional content? What is this, Border Patrol, the reality show? It is grotesque.
No, literally. The filings say they were using instrumental music over footage of people being bitten by canine units. It's the murder budget being used for clout. It's sick.
ProPublica is reporting that 2 U.S. citizens were caught up in it. They were rounded up at gunpoint. And ICE is justifying it by yelling about student visa fraud and phantom employees. It's a manufactured crisis to justify military tactics in American cities.
Each claimant wants $5 million in damages, and they deserve it. You can't turn a Chicago apartment building into a war zone and then put it on TikTok with a lo-fi beat.
It's the election integrity army tactics, Mary. They're testing how much the public will tolerate before the midterms. Speaking of which, the DNC is currently doing its best to trip over its own shoelaces. I'm telling you, Ken Martin keeping the 2024 autopsy report under seal is a disaster for morale. He says it'll cause infighting, but the infighting's already here because he's hiding the data.
None of us have a time machine, he says. You don't need a time machine to read a report on why we lost the working class in the swing states. Even John Favreau is calling him out on this.
Secrecy is so chooky. Like, just drop the PDF and let us roast it. Roots Action has 9,000 emails in his inbox, and he's He's just sitting there in his insular club.
It's a crisis of confidence. If you want us to win the midterms, show us where we messed up. Was it the messaging? Was it the lack of union focus? Tell us the truth.
The GOP is plagued with infighting, but they're united in their goal to destroy us. We need to be the happy warriors, but it's hard to be happy when the party leadership is acting like a secret society.
Meanwhile, the actual warriors are in the Senate, trying to stop Trump from starting World War III with Iran. Did you see the vote yesterday? 49-50. One vote. One vote kept the War Powers Resolution from passing. Lisa Murkowski was the only Republican to cross over.
God bless Lisa Murkowski. The April 8th ceasefire is on life support. Trump is in China calling Tehran's proposals garbage. And we've got 2 destroyers in the Gulf taking warning shots.
It's the Project Freedom era. Like, we really named a bombing campaign Project Freedom? That's some 2003 level cringe.
According to The Guardian, Israeli officials are pressuring Trump to authorize special forces to seize nuclear stockpiles. We are on a knife's edge, folks, and the House just had to use a discharge petition to get Ukraine aid moving because the isolationists are holding it hostage.
It's a pincer movement of global aggression and fiscal insanity. Speaking of fiscal insanity, Kevin Warsh is officially the Fed chair as of today, the most divisive vote in history.
54-45? Only Fetterman joined the Republicans? Warsh is a sock puppet for Trump, I'm telling you. He's going to slash rates to juice the economy for the midterms, and inflation is already at 3.8%.
Low-key, he's just there to be a yes man. Elizabeth Warren is high-key right about this one.
And while they're juicing the market, they're withholding $1.3 billion in Medicaid from California. J.D. Vance and RFK Jr. calling it a fraud crackdown. It's not a crackdown, it's a political ransom.
They're using federal funding as a weapon against blue states. It's national edging again. They squeeze the services until the state breaks, and then they blame the Democrats for the mess.
And don't even get me started on the schools. RFK Jr.'s MAHA guidelines are hitting the cafeterias today. Inverted food pyramid, my foot.
Protein is the most expensive thing on the plate, Mary. School districts can't afford whole milk and fresh beef on $4.60 a lunch. Cap Radio's reporting that nutrition directors are basically panicking.
No, literally. Like, make America healthy again, but also we're cutting the farm-to-school budget. It's a rebrand that nobody can afford. It's giving starvation, but make it organic.
It's absurd. They want to remove synthetic dyes, which, fine, whatever. But they're gutting the equipment grants to actually cook the food. Alma Adams is the only one standing in the way of this madness.
It's the aggressive obesity treatment era. They want to push Ozempic on kids while taking away their school lunch funding. It's the ultimate corporate squeeze.
Okay, but can we talk about something that actually slaps for a second? The neural extension study that just dropped in Nature Neuroscience. This is actually huge.
Oh, the brain-controlled hearing aids? I saw the headline. Is it real?
No, literally. Researchers at Columbia, Dr. Mesgarani and Dr. Chowdhury, basically solved the cocktail party problem. You know how hearing aids just blast everything and you can't hear the person in front of you? This system uses brain waves to figure out who you're listening to and instantly suppresses everyone else.
The cocktail party problem. I've had that since 1994. But Maya, according to Neuroscience News, it requires intracranial EEG. That means, brain surgery?
Right now, yeah, they tested it on epilepsy patients, but it's the gold standard proof. We're moving toward non-invasive wearables. Imagine a world where people over 75 aren't socially isolated because their tech finally works. This is accessibility equity in its final boss form.
See, that's the stuff I like. Actual progress. Not some billionaire's rocket ship, but a way for a grandmother to hear her grandkids at dinner. That's a union hall level win in my book.
But look at the flip side. If you can neural extension your hearing, who owns the data of what you're attending to? If the GOP can withhold Medicaid, can they withhold your hearing subscription if you don't vote for them?
Julian, you're making me want to move Mitch the goat into a Faraday cage. But you're right. The Sentinel fraud report just came out showing consumer scams are at an all-time high. If these devices get hacked, you aren't just losing your credit card, you're losing your auditory reality.
Dead fear unlocked. But the vibes are shifting everywhere. Have you guys seen the 2026 World Cup hype? It's basically the star-studded apocalypse.
The most expensive sporting event in history. MetLife Stadium for the final. I've already got my tickets in the black book, figuratively speaking.
It's a garage sale of national dignity, Julian. We're spending billions on stadiums while Detroit doesn't have water. Are you kidding me?
It's the dual-speed world. We have brain-controlled hearing in 100,000-seat stadiums. But we also have Project Freedom and 3.8% inflation. It's like we're building a gleaming skyscraper on top of a sinkhole.
Okay, it's definitely a cyberpunk era. High-tech, low-life. We're all just characters in a fail compilation that's being filmed by a DHS drone for a social media edit.
Well, if it's a fail compilation, I'm going to make sure the Democratic Party is the one who edits the final cut. We have to fight for the soul of this technology, for the soul of the economy, and for the soul of the cafeteria lunch.
I'll settle for the cafeteria lunch, Julian. One thing at a time.
I'm going to go look at my goats. At least Mitch doesn't need a neural extension to know I'm frustrated.
Mitch is high-key the most stable character in this show. That's the show for today. We covered the GOP rot, the water crisis, and the fact that your brain might soon be your remote control. No, literally, democracy is in its villain arc. But at least we have the World Cup to distract us while the Fed chair burns the house down.
Stay gritty out there.
Keep the faith, people.
Try to stay sane.
And stop scrolling. It's bad for the brain.